Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we are diving into a political showdown that's shaking up the very foundations of local government in South Africa. A fresh battle is erupting between the African National Congress, the ANC, and the Democratic Alliance, the DA, as tensions over coalition governance reach boiling point. This time, the fight isn't playing out in Parliament, it's unfolding in the country's largest metropolitan municipalities, where fragile coalitions are starting to crack under pressure. From Johannesburg to Ekurhuleni, coalition politics is proving to be a messy, unstable experiment, and ordinary South Africans are caught in the middle. Let's break it down. After the 2024 national elections, the ANC suffered one of its most humiliating setbacks yet. It lost its outright majority. For the first time in the democratic era, the ANC could no longer govern alone at the national level. That weakness also trickled down to local municipalities, where the party was forced into uneasy coalitions with opposition parties, including its old rival, the DA. These forced partnerships were born not out of ideological alignment, but sheer necessity. But now, less than a year later, those coalitions are fraying fast. In Johannesburg and Ekurhuleni, two of Gauteng's most critical metros, the relationship between the ANC and DA has gone from tense to openly hostile. Negotiations over how to manage these coalition governments have stalled. There are disputes over policy direction, budget priorities, key appointments, and even the basic functioning of service delivery departments. And this week, things escalated dramatically. DA leader John Steenhuisen issued a public statement accusing ANC officials of deliberately undermining the coalition by dragging their feet on infrastructure projects, blocking transparency, and sabotaging oversight efforts. In his words, the ANC would rather see communities suffer than relinquish control. That's a serious accusation, and one that taps into long-standing frustrations over Cadre deployment, mismanagement, and the lack of accountability in ANC-run municipalities. The ANC, of course, didn't take that lying down. Secretary-General Mbalula fired back in a press conference, accusing the DA of grandstanding and trying to dictate terms without understanding the day-to-day realities of governance. According to Mbalula, the DA wants control without compromise and is acting like a coalition overlord rather than a cooperative partner. He defended the ANC's track record and warned against what he called the DA's elitist approach to managing diverse, working-class cities like Johannesburg. So, what we're seeing is not just a war of words, it's a power struggle with real consequences. Political analysts are warning that these tensions are threatening to paralyze local governments at a time when they can least afford it. Communities are already grappling with unreliable water supply, electricity outages, pothole-ridden roads, and declining public infrastructure. And now, they must also endure political gridlock that could stall any efforts to turn things around. According to Professor Susan Boysen of the University of the Witwatersrand, this is more than just political theatre. It's a crisis of governance. Coalition politics in South Africa is still a new frontier, and what's happening now may be a sign of what's to come if political parties fail to find common ground. She notes that without clear rules, trust, or a shared vision for governance, coalitions are prone to collapse, and that's exactly what we're seeing. But let's also be real here. These tensions didn't come out of nowhere. They are rooted in deep ideological differences and long-standing mistrust between the ANC and DA. The ANC, with its liberation movement roots, still holds on to patronage-based governance models and cadre deployment strategies that reward loyalty over performance. The DA, on the other hand, positions itself as a champion of efficiency, clean governance, and technocratic leadership. The result? A complete mismatch of governance styles, priorities, and approaches to accountability. And it's not just Johannesburg and Ekurhuleni that are feeling the heat. In Tshwane, Nelson Mandela Bay, and other municipalities where coalitions were cobbled together after hung councils, similar patterns are emerging. Petty squabbles, internal sabotage, motions of no confidence, and revolving door mayoral appointments are all symptoms of a deeper political crisis. South Africa's multi-party system is evolving, but its politicians haven't caught up. Meanwhile, residents are growing tired. They've heard the promises, seen the campaign posters, watched the televised debates, and yet, their lived experiences haven't changed. For many, things have gotten worse. Service delivery backlogs are growing, infrastructure is deteriorating, and municipal workers are often caught in the crossfire of coalition disputes. The ANC's critics argue that the party is struggling to let go of its command and control instincts. They say it's addicted to patronage and resistant to genuine reform. On the other side, ANC insiders accuse the DA of being arrogant, out of touch with poor communities, and unwilling to accommodate partners in good faith. The result is a toxic mix of blame games and political brinkmanship. So, where does this leave us? With the 2026 local elections on the horizon, both parties are under pressure to prove that they can govern in coalition. If they fail, they risk losing even more support, and giving rise to smaller parties and independents who could further fragment the political landscape. Voters are watching. The media is watching. And civil society is increasingly vocal in demanding that coalitions stop acting like battlefields and start acting like the boardrooms of public service. Ultimately, the ANC-DA feud is about more than just who gets to sit in the mayor's office. It's about the future of democracy in South Africa. Can our political parties learn to work together in the interest of the people? Or are we doomed to endless cycles of coalition chaos, collapsed councils, and worsening service delivery? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, if the ANC and DA can't find a way to stabilize their coalitions, it's the people of South Africa who will suffer the consequences. Thanks for watching today's deep dive. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. What do you think? Is coalition governance failing in South Africa? Or is it just teething problems in a maturing democracy? See you next time.